A common assumption about meditative and mindfulness practices is that they are designed to bring us into a state of greater equanimity, that they will reduce our experience of pain, whether it be mental, emotional, or physical. And oftentimes, people find themselves somewhat at a loss when this isn't what they experience, or when they find mindfulness or meditation extremely difficult to implement. And I suppose it's understanding that we don't approach mindfulness or meditation with the objective of feeling better. Basically, these are practices that are designed to help us become a better observer of the stories and the constructs and the thoughts that are going through our minds, and also our emotional experience. It doesn't change the experience, it just allows us to become more aware of it and to not let our automated systems run the show. Because when we become more aware of our monologue, of the narratives that we have in our mind, of our core beliefs about ourselves, about other people, when we become more aware of our emotional triggers and the things that really get under our skin and result in us becoming quite reactive, then we are more likely to be able to compassionately look at what's going on and make a wise decision as to what the best next action is, so that we're living in alignment with our values, who it is that we want to be, as opposed to reacting to everything that goes on around us based on our past experiences and based on our conditioned self. Our mind is the ultimate problem creator. Not only that, we have all of these assumptions and beliefs about the world that we're frequently not aware of. And we have all of these expectations of ourselves, these ideas of who it is that we need to be and who other people need to be in order for life to feel right. And oftentimes, a lot of these beliefs, a lot of these standards that we set ourselves, a lot of these assumptions that we have about the world, a lot of these behaviors that we do for the approval of others are based on a core belief of being inadequate, or somehow not being enough, being worthless, and ultimately being unlovable, and feeling alone in that belief. And as you can imagine, when your inherent belief about yourself is one of unworthiness, then you are constantly striving to make things okay. You are constantly striving to make yourself okay in your own eyes and in the eyes of others. So it's like the goalposts are always moving. You're always trying to create something new. You're always trying to acquire something new, or become something new, or achieve something else. Or else, alternatively, you're trying to numb out that feeling of inadequacy. You're trying to escape or avoid your true reality. And none of these states are present. None of them are living in the moment. And as a consequence, we miss out on vitality and aliveness. Again, assuming that if we fully engage with our experience, that we're actually attaching to the pain. Whereas the reality is, the more we try and avoid the reality of our life and of our current circumstance, the more likely we are to experience pain, because we're not living authentically, and ultimately we know at some level that we are inadequate. We're thinking, I'm never going to be worthy, I'm not lovable, I have to keep doing all of these things, I have to keep running, and we never get to truly sit with ourselves. And this makes it almost impossible for us to ever feel like we are enough. So no matter what we do externally, we always feel inadequate. We're always moving on to the next thing. We're always looking for the next form of avoidance, or the next thing to numb us out, or the next thing to give us a sense of achievement, which is very short-lived. And unfortunately, we are never going to get there. So it's about recognizing that we need to find an awareness of our true experience. We need to create an awareness of these stories and convictions that we have going on. And we need to be able to challenge them. We need to be able to come back into our body, be very aware of our bodily sensations, of our emotional state, of the thoughts that we are having, and try to take a step back from them. Try to become a little bit more objective in a very compassionate and understanding manner, so that we can actually begin to live the life it is that we want to live, you know. And this is the work of a lifetime. It's not something you master in the space of a few weeks. But that being said, what is the alternative? There is no other way. I mean, you can choose to live in an automated fashion, continuously striving to reach a finish line that just is always slightly out of sight, or you can begin to accept yourself where you are, decide on the values that you want to be associated with and that you want to live your life by, and begin living like that day by day, little by little. Because again, it's all one step at a time. It's all just making the tiny little bit of awareness to your day-to-day moments, to the minutiae of your living, that actually makes a difference. And again, we tend to assume that we have to completely transform things overnight, and that's not how it works. It just takes time to get to know who you are internally, who it is that you are trying to avoid being, what your fears are, what your insecurities are, what your core beliefs are, and what's working for you and what isn't. If you would like to create a little bit more self-awareness, or to create a contemplative and meditative practice, get in touch with me on the website. It's fundamentals.ie.